Hello students. Today let us see the lesson The Will of Sacrifice. Now I am going to read out the summary of this lesson. This lesson is about Bhagat Singh. You can see him on the screen. Bhagat Singh was born on 27 September 1907 in Khatar, Kalan, Punjab in British India. His family members were all active in the freedom struggle. Young Bhagat Singh came in contact with well-known political leaders during his early education in DAV school in response to Gandhiji's call for non-cooperation against British rule. Bhagat Singh left DAV school and joined the National School, a center for revolutionary activities. Here he was initiated into the firebrand activities under the leadership of Sukhdev, Bhagwati Charan, etc., and became a member of the Hindustan Republican Association. The ideas of the revolutionaries were different from the Gandhian idea of a freedom movement based on ahimsa or non-violence. They were branded as terrorists for using the weapon of violence to overthrow the unjust foreign rule. Bhagat Singh is remembered today not only as a bold revolutionary figure but also as a great thinker. According to Singh, revolution does not mean violence but the spirit of freedom and the longing for a change for the better. The incident that brought a total change in the life of Bhagat Singh was the brutal attack by the police on veteran freedom fighter Lala Lajpat Rai on 17th November 1928 in Lahore. Bhagat Singh's determination to avenge Lajpat Rai's death using bombs was loud enough to wake up an enslaved nation from a deep slumber. Bhagat Singh kept the spark of freedom alive through his letters written from jail. Death did not deter him, instead, proved the fact that the value of a man lies not in what he is capable of receiving, but in what he is capable of giving. Bhagat Singh's last letter to Bhatukeshwar Dutt, dated 21/3/1931, written from Central Jail, Lahore, had the message about him being sentenced to death. It also voiced his co-prisoner's voice of escaping the noose. Bhagat Singh was anxiously awaiting to show to the world about the spirit of a revolutionary sacrifice for the cause of the nation by embracing the gallows. Students, you can see the letter of Bhagat Singh written by himself on the screen. In another letter to the convicts dated 22/3/1931, Singh reflects on his natural desire to live. Singh takes pride in announcing that he has become a symbol of Indian revolution. The ideal and sacrifices of the revolutionary party has elevated him to a height beyond which he would never be able to rise if he were to live. The second para of the letter gives a real introspection of Singh's attitude towards the nation. He contrasts between weaknesses and strength of himself, which is more a reflection on the Indian mothers. If Singh mounts the gallows boldly, then it will become impossible for the imperialism to face the tide of the revolution and all their might and their satanic efforts will not be able to stop the onward march. The last pair of the letter witnesses a tinge of pain in Singh's heart for not fulfilling certain ambitions meant for humanity and his country. Lastly, he is proud of himself and is anxiously awaiting for the final test, wishing for the last day to embrace him at the earliest. Students, hope you all understood the lesson and enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.